This is my 2003 Honda Accord CM2 Tourer State with the K24 manual, and we're doing brakes today. Brakes. As you may or may not know, Honda Accord Type R, the 6th gen, the one previous to this, has twin pot calipers, whereas this comes as standard with single pot calipers. It's a direct fit apparently, so let's find out. Okay, here are my Accord Type R CH1 twin pot calipers, which I have rebuilt. They came bare, so they had nothing in them at all, no seals, no pistons, nothing. The kits for rebuilding these on eBay are correct with a few asterisks. So the kit for the pistons is correct, the seals all fit nicely, these pistons are in there snug, and the boots fit and I didn't tear any, which is great. When you're installing these, it's much easier with two people. You need one person to hold open the dust boot and another person to fit the piston round the dust boot, get it sealed all the way around. I tried on my own for ages, completely failed, and with my wife's help we did it in about 20 minutes. The carriers, I think from what I found out, that there's two different size guide pins. The guide pins themselves can either be, I think, 72mm length or 85mm length, and you want the 85mm length ones. I bought the 72mm ones and they were too skinny and too short, and they had loads of play, but these ones, as you can see, have no side to side play, slide them out nicely. So there's two different types. I actually couldn't find the 85mm slide under the name Accord Type R, CH1, whatever you want to say. But a quick look around on eBay, I found the exact same ones for a different Honda, same diameter, and they've arrived in there perfect, and they came with bolts and boots and everything. Anti-rattle clips, these were really hard to find the right ones. You can buy them from Honda, but they cost £1 million and they take ages to arrive. But these ones I found on Brakes Direct or one of those websites, listed for a Legend or maybe an TSX or something like that. And they do fit, and you can see that the pads slide around nicely, but have virtually no play. So they will work, but they are slightly too small, these clips, so they do take a little bit of persuasion to get on. But once they're on, they do hold the pads nicely, and the pads can move around freely, so you won't have any issues binding up. There we go. I will link the anti-rattle clips, the guide pins and the rebuild kit in the description. Just one small thing to add. The pad springs that sit between the caliper itself and the pads to keep them from rattling and making noise, I could not find those in the UK, and I had to order them from Japan, which you will see later on in the video. Hi Sam. Front of the car's jacked up on stands, let's get the wheels off. Okay, caliper off, just sitting there, and see if the caliper carrier fits. There we go, caliper carrier and caliper on with the pads in, disc turns nice and freely. I think this is all going to work, looking good. Yes, I know I had the wrong caliper on, now I have the right caliper on, shut up internet. Okay, it's plumbed in. I'll change these lines for braided lines. It all goes on literally plug and play, bolted on. Everything's bled up. This side as well. We've spilled loads of brake fluid everywhere, but apart from that, it's been, sorry, I have. It's a mess. Anyway, we're going to tidy up and go for a test drive. It was at this point that we realised something wasn't right. Okay, it's been a couple of weeks. What we found on the test drive is that we couldn't get a firm pedal. We bled and we just couldn't get it to work. And I think it was because we were using absolute dog shit pads and the wrong disc. So what I've done is I've ordered some CH1 discs, the same diameter, but they are 2mm thicker from new. And you need to put a spigot in or screws. I've done both because the center diameter is slightly bigger. 70 bore on this, 64 on this. On the Accord. Anyway, that's all in, and I've put some nice pads in. I put PBS Pro Race pads in because we are going to the Nürburgring, and you'll see also we've put new lower arms in. So, new discs and pads are in. Let's go for a test drive. At this point, the brakes were starting to work properly, and I could get a good firm pedal, and the car was really getting hauled down. But they were very noisy. The pads were tweeting away, especially on the offside. So that required a bit of further investigation. Right, so only like this will be the last bit I have to shoot for this video. You see, I've got a braided line on there. All bled up, brakes working great, everything fits, stopping power is excellent. But these anti-rattle shims here don't fit right. The other three seem to not make any noise at all, but this one is contacting the disc here and was squeaking like an absolute bastard when you went round corners, and when you reversed it was particularly bad. So what I've done is I've just taken a flat file and I've just clearanced there a bit. And I'll put it all back together now, take it for a drive and see. Oh, also I've got my pad springs from Japan. You can just see them there. These springs here. I had to order those from Japan. And I would say, get these from Japan too. Order them from Amiyama. They'll take 2 weeks to arrive or so, and it's much better than these clips that are aftermarket and just don't fit at all. So there we go, let's put it all back together and take it for a test drive and see if it makes any noise. Okay, so there we go. I'll just open the window so you can hear. Nothing, no squeaking, no rattling, no nothing. The brakes are completely silent. The stopping power is excellent. This is a worthy upgrade. I think it's worth doing. The stopping power is much better. There's a lot more initial bite. The ABS is working a bit harder because there's more bite. A lot more locking power, which will be great from high speed. It's been a bit of a pain in the ass to get this together. Having said that, now that it's done, I can put this guide together and list all the bits that you need and where you might get them, and that should streamline the process a little bit. As long as you can find CH1 calipers with their carriers, rebuilding them is pretty easy, so you can do it at home, no problem. Any questions or comments or anything, please just leave them in underneath the video and I'll do my best to get back to you. And should have some oil temp now, so